How's it going, my peeps? It is now time for the Raw results / highlights and review video. I'll go over the Raw results, give you guys my thoughts on the show. So the show kicks off with Santa Claus coming out. They introduce him as the guest host for tonight's Raw. Comes out, starts giving out presents to the crowd. Kind of goes under the stage area where usually Del Rio comes out with his car. And then Del Rio's music hits, and Ricardo comes out from the stage, and he starts introducing Del Rio. And then Del Rio comes out with his car, and he hits Santa. Thing is, it was more like Santa hitting the car, not Del Rio hitting him with the car. But anyways, he hits Santa with the car, and then Santa's down, and everyone's like, oh no, and then you have Del Rio coming out of the car looking all shocked, and Ricardo like crying, or not crying, but, you know, also shocked, I guess. And then medical staff comes out, and the crowd's booing, and some of them are chanting, "You killed Santa" to Del Rio. They put him on a stretcher, and before they get him out of there, Santa's like on the stretcher, and he, you know, gives a thumbs up to, I guess, reassure the kids that, hey, Santa's fine. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for the opening segment. It lasted around 7 minutes or so. And then once they come back from commercial break, got a bunch of mid-carders and Teddy Long in front of the trainer's room, and then Booker T comes out, and he gives them an update on Santa. He says he's going to be honest, it's not looking good, or Santa's down. And you even have Darren Young crying, and everybody's complaining. And then Del Rio comes up to them, and he's like, it was an accident, it wasn't his fault. He says, you know, everybody knows Del Rio comes out, you know, where he goes out, with his cars, or drives his cars. So technically, it wasn't his fault. And then John Cena also blames Del Rio. And Booker T says, before Santa went down or something like that, his last words were Del Rio is going to be in the fight tonight. And it's going to be a street fight between Del Rio and John Cena. So, looks like Del Rio's face turn didn't last long at all. And then for the first match of the night, it was Cody versus Kane. And they replayed the match where Cody got injured, and saying that tonight Cody gets to get his revenge against Kane. But unfortunately for Cody, he lost the matchup. Kane shoved them on an exposed turnbuckle, which Cody exposed in the first place, and then Kane hit the choke slam for the 1-2-3, so Kane beats Cody Rhodes in the first matchup. And then we get an 8-diva tag team match. It's the team of Layla, Kaitlyn, Alicia Fox, and Natalya versus the team of Rosa, Aksana, Eve, and who else? Hold on just a second. Oh yeah, Tamina. Anyways, the match ends with Kaitlyn hitting the gutbuster on Eve for the victory, so the face team wins the matchup. The ending of the match was pretty entertaining. You had like all the divas hitting their finishers on each other, signature moves. In the end, obviously, with Kaitlyn hitting the gutbuster on Eve. And then we see a segment with Dolph and AJ in like this house, or I don't know, but they're watching something. And you don't see what they're watching, but AJ's like, this is my favorite Christmas movie or something like that. And Dolph's like, really? This is your favorite movie? And then she's like, oh, this is my favorite part. And then they pan to the TV, or the camera goes to the TV, and it's actually footage from TLC, the ladder match, where John Cena is climbing up the ladder. She pushes him off, Dolph hits a super kick, and that's, I guess, her favorite moment. After that, they talk about Santa's condition after Del Rio hit him with the car. And then some lumberjacks come out for a matchup between Big Show and Sheamus, although they're calling this match a Lumberjack Frost match instead of the usual lumberjack match. So as far as the match goes, you had the lumberjacks during the middle of the match fighting each other, the heels fighting the faces. And, you know, as usual, when Sheamus goes out, when the face is out of the ring, they attack him and then throw him back in the ring. But when, like, Big Show gets out, they don't attack him. And the end of the match comes when Big Show's about to hit the knockout punch on Sheamus. Sheamus sucks and hits the bro kick for the 1-2-3. It was the first bro kick, he didn't have to hit 2 or anything like that. After that, in the ring, you had David Otunga on the microphone defending Del Rio for his actions. And then Zack Ryder comes out for a match against David Otunga. He beats him after hitting the Rough Rider. And then after that, you get Booker T and Teddy Long backstage laughing at David Otunga's loss. And then Brad Maddox comes up to them. He tells Booker he heard Booker T wanted him, so he's assuming it's for a contract, and he says it's going to be great. And then Booker T says, you know, you're going to find out your opponent or whatever later on. And he also says it's going to be great. They really emphasize great. And you know how last time I was like, okay, last time they were emphasizing great too. So I thought it was going to be the great Khali, but it ended up being somebody else. This time that was like, okay, it's definitely going to be the great Khali. So anyways, after that, they had a tag team match. It was The Miz teaming up with Kofi versus Wade Barrett and Torres Cesaro. At the end of the matchup, Wade Barrett was going to go for what seemed to be his old finisher, the Wasteland, on The Miz. The Miz kind of, you know, slipped away and then pushed Wade Barrett towards the ropes, where Wade Barrett's head kind of poked out of the second ropes. And on the outside was Kofi Kingston with Trouble in Paradise on Wade Barrett. Miz then follows that up with the skull-crushing finale for the 1, 2, 3. So Kofi Kingston and The Miz win the tag team match. And after that, I think it was another segment with Dolph and AJ. This time, AJ shows Dolph a present, and it's Dolph's Money in the Bank briefcase. And he's like, oh, how can I ever repay you, or something like that. And then AJ tells him, okay, I have one more gift for you. And then she opens up this robe she's wearing, and it's Dolph Ziggler's t-shirt. And then Bryan Maddox comes out for his matchup, and then Hornswoggle's music hits. He comes out, but then he's like, no, it's not me. And then he brings out, guess who? Khali. So I was right this time. And pretty quick matchup, but actually Bryan Maddox got some offense in. He worked on Khali's leg. Khali wins in the end with the double-handed chokeslam. After the match, he starts singing, and then CM Punk comes out. And once CM Punk comes out, in the beginning he makes fun of Khali singing a bit, and then talks about how, you know, it's not fair that Ryback injured him, but he's getting rewarded with a title match, blah blah blah. Eventually Ryback comes out and says if CM Punk is cleared and he gets the title match on the first episode of the first Raw episode of 2013, it's gonna be in the same match they were supposed to have at TLC, and that is a TLC match for the WWE Championship. And then that's it for that. Afterwards, I think you had Daniel Bryan versus Damien Sandow in a 1-on-1 matchup. Pretty quick match. Daniel Bryan wins with the no lock after he countered Damien Sandow's neckbreaker. And then they had a 12-man tag team match. It was the Usos, Tyson Kidd, Justin Gabriel, Santino Marella, Brodus, and I think that's it, right? Versus Tensai, the Primetime Players, and 3MB. Anyways, the team of the Usos, Tyson Kidd and Justin Gabriel win after one of the Usos hits a body splash on Heath Slater, I believe, for the pinfall victory. After that, there was another AJ Dolph Ziggler segment. Pretty pointless. AJ's like reading this book or making up a song, and then her and Dolph kiss. That's pretty much it. Hey, you know what? I think that actually rhymed. Anyways, after that, I believe we actually get John Cena versus Del Rio in the street fight. And you know what? This match was like unlike any not any John Cena match, but most of his matches. You know how most of John Cena's matches, he gets dominated, you know, the opponent does most of the damage, and then towards the end, John Cena starts building momentum and wins the matchup. This was like the complete opposite. You had John Cena dominating the matchup, hitting Del Rio with a bunch of stuff, and you also had Del Rio, you know, Ricardo gave him a bunch of stuff to attack John Cena with, like, one of them was a pie, and Del Rio was like, what is this, are you stupid? And then the second time was like a teddy bear or something like that, and he just took the teddy bear and threw it at John Cena. Oh yeah, and by the way, with the pie, he was gonna smash it into John Cena's face, but John Cena ducked, so he smashed it on Ricardo. Anyways, towards the end, Ricardo jumps on John Cena's back, and then Sandow comes back out, so he's okay. And Ricardo gets out of the ring to hug Santa or something. Santa hits him with his bag. And then he takes out a sock and shoves it in Del Rio's mouth. So it looks like it was Mick Foley. So anyways, he shoves it in Del Rio's mouth. Del Rio turns around. John Cena hits the AA, goes for the pinfall, wins the matchup. And then he celebrates with Santa, and that's it for the show. So, what did I think about tonight's Raw? Any highlights? Well, out of all the matches, I enjoyed the main event the most tonight. So I guess that was my highlight. And as far as my overall thoughts on the show, a rating for the overall show, this was more of a special Raw, or a special Christmas Eve edition of Raw. Most of the storylines didn't really advance. Really, it was a bunch of random matches, except maybe for the tag team match with Kofi Kingston and The Miz versus Antonio and Wade Barrett, since that kind of goes with the IC title feud. And, you know, to be quite honest, Raw tonight, I just thought it was boring, and I just, 3 hours, I've said it before and I'll say it again, 3 hours in my opinion is just too long. But anyways, as far as a rating for the show, I'd give it 4 on 10. So yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this video. In the comment section, tell me what you guys thought about Raw. Anyways, with that said, I'm out guys, see ya.